So what time do we want to do ours? 5 o'clock?
5 to 6:30.
5 to 6:30?
5 to 6:30. That's a perfect time.
5.
What's that, trick or treat? What time is
What,
it?
Mike?
People
5 to
gotta get home.
What time is the church?
Our church is the Saturday before.
Oh,
5:30 to 6:30,
I see.
and then the tribe pick up after that. Ask the tribe if that's okay.
Did y'all get it, Virginia?
I do.
You want me to get you one?
Thank you.
From 5 to 6:30? Did you get it, Virginia?
Wait,
good.
you
I got
just
it
said
on
from
my
5 to 6:30?
Yeah.
I thought
Thank
you
you.
said 5:30.
No, 5, just say 5.
If nobody's home at 5, they'll go back by.
5 to 6:30,
On the 30th.
Count of Elton, and then tribe afterwards. So you get us time to do the tribe and them.
oh,
And I'll throw it
yeah.
up on the, I'll put it up on the
I
website.
tried
Here.
to be a nice guy.
I don't know if the tribe says she's gonna advertise.
She-
It's a little nutty, but oh, okay, well, you need to let me
She'll be
know.
all right.
Let me know.
Maybe got a lot on it right now. So that way, I said maybe.
I just talked to her.
Yeah, and then boys,
Yeah.
Thursday.
I'll ask.
I think they scared.
Tim's down. Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
They send home.
We should have been on work.
Good to see you again.
He won't be, I give him something. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not insurance.
But he don't,
You can live 2 weeks without water. 3/4 was a month.
that's how he ends.
Like you experience that. Sorry, you guys, I'm having a little problem here. Now we're recording.
Council meeting now comes to order. Who's gonna do a prayer? Can't your turn, please.
Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for this day, God. I thank you for this meeting tonight, God. I ask that we get on one mind and one accord, Lord, and we work for the betterment of our town, that the decisions we make be according to your word, Lord, and to listen to our citizens, God. We ask all these things in your precious mighty name. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A moment of silence.
Thank you.
Andrea, do a roll call, please, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Councilman Tony Gilbert. Councilwoman Kim Thibodeau.
Here.
Councilwoman Erica Francis.
Here.
Councilwoman Judy Patterson.
Here.
Councilwoman Kay Abear.
Here.
All present and accounted for.
Thank you, ma'am.
We have quorum.
Any public comments at this time on agenda items prior to adoption of this agenda? I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
Make the motion to adopt the agenda.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Adoption is passed. Next, it's time to look at the minutes from the September the 3rd meeting.
That was a chapter book.
Yes, it
That was
was.
a long meeting.
2.5 hour meeting.
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of September 3rd, 2025 as is and dispense with reading of the same.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, I'd like Sandra to do a clerk report on our financials and any questions you might have regarding expenditures and bills that need to be paid.
Okay. If you look, I put the general fund budget, in your packet. I had to do some adjustments because we had some, things that were over 5%. And, it was a struggle. If you look at it, we still have some that are negative, but they're not over 5%. So, but just like, for instance, like, what I had to do was take out the general fund budget for the town, to put some in the police, to also put some in parks and highways. We're very slim right now. If you notice, like the supplies, and we had $419 to last us until December. So, might not have too many people happy with me, but just, if we can get through this and, save the money, it'll be better for the town of Elton. I know that we are
Well, I just wanna make it
gonna be on
public.
the upswing.
Yeah.
It's just if we're tight right now and do what we're supposed to, it'll be better.
You talking about supplies, what kind of supplies technically, office supplies or what?
No, I have a different one for office supplies.
Okay.
That is
That's
just
what I thought.
supplies
Yeah.
that we need. And that was just one that I picked out.
Yeah, and for example, we're using coffee that's probably been here a year and a half, so every little thing that we.
You drinking it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well then that's all that matters.
So anyway, anywhere we can say, we're utilizing everything so that we can, and I think it's gonna be a brighter future, but we're gonna be tight for the next 90 days.
Now, y'all, passing around is, I'm able to print out a summary and I'm able to print out a detail. So if there's any account that you wanna see what's in it, you just ask me and I can print it. And then it'll have name and it'll have a little description. Any questions about that?
Question just on MPERS, that not showing anything, would that, should have something in it, page 2,
Yeah, well, it was only an estimate and,
what are we utilizing that number, that estimate, I'm just,
well, no, we hadn't.
No.
I mean, so I had to take it to put it somewhere else.
yeah.
Because we still, like, for the police fund, we're still negative in insurance, negative in supplies, payroll taxes, negative in repairs and maintenance.
Gotcha.
So is MPERS still trying to give us an amount to pay, or are we making payments on MPERS, or like what are we still waiting
Basically,
on
we're
them to
still in
give us?
negotiations with them.
Okay,
We actually, had a conference call with them, what, 2-3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago? Anyway.
and that's just on whether or not they're gonna give us a smaller amount, or how they're gonna make the
just
monthly
because We've been
payments?
negotiating, and Mike on our behalf, probably for the last, how long, Mike?
At least
Yeah.
2 years, probably?
Yeah.
Yeah, as I appreciate, we're current on our current obligation, but.
So we are making
had this
payments.
all, yes, I mean, what's being withheld is being paid, I mean, and the town is slightly under budget on what they thought they would have to contribute, as far as police retirement, by just a slight amount. But, yes, there's an outstanding past obligation that is subject to that litigation that we'll discuss in executive session today, but it's unresolved at this point.
Okay. I just didn't
But
know
we're
if
hopeful.
we
We're
had to
hopeful.
pay any amount, or if we were, like, if we had to wait till negotiations ended to pay an
We're
amount.
gonna have to pay some amount, but we're negotiating how much.
No, but so you're saying we're currently paying an amount?
We're paying our current obligation, so for the officers that are in the
I
retirement
just didn't know if
plan.
we had paid anything to them.
Pardon?
Said I just didn't
I
know if
don't
we had
think
paid
they owe
anything
it.
to them.
Not on the alleged past obligation.
Right.
That's right, that's in litigation.
22, 23.
But we are current when, in fact, I paid a little bit early and I hope they give us a little leeway.
It would be nice.
Is this the IRS?
No.
It's police retirement.
Any other questions?
Do you wanna address the IRS and tell them that we don't?
Well, we're in the same position. I call them every Wednesday, 7:00. Today, did y'all receive it? We sent it, certified mail, so I know they did receive it, but apparently it's sitting on someone's desk and it's not processed. So every time I call in 60 days, but I don't, I call weekly to get an update.
What's on their desk? Money, paper, what
No,
Our request.
Yeah, request,
request or?
abatement.
Basically,
We want
it's
them
a
to give us-
Forgive part of the debt or
penalties
all of it.
Or?
We're requesting they waive penalties and interest or one of the.
Or some of anything, or some of it.
The IRS?
Yes.
Okay.
I call those
Can
people
they
on the
garnish?
radio.
Can they garnish anything we have?
What we have, Glenn?
They can,
Say us,
they can
but
withhold
tell.
federal funds.
Pardon me?
They can withhold federal funds that are due to
Okay.
us, but
That's
they
about
don't
it.
get any federal
Okay,
funds.
if they can't garnish anything that the town, money the town has and
No.
collected.
Can't get grants.
The hurt on that is that we cannot get grants until we
Okay.
Yeah,
get
we
past
never did
this
all
I know they can
IRS
garnish your
thing.
wages, that's what I'm trying to say, can they garnish any money that we have?
We don't have any wages, we're
Well, your water bills, I'm
municipality,
talking about.
no, I can't.
You got money to pay salaries, I mean, can they garnish that?
No.
You can't take that.
Any other questions,
Orange
council
Island.
members?
Okay, now,
Sandra,
anything about the general fund, because I put in there, everyone got one about the, expenses
No,
and
we
revenues
did not
for the
get that.
utility? Oh,
No, that's just yours.
okay. So what I did was I did not have time today to break it down because I fought with a printer and lost. So this right here is just our revenues and expenses in the utility fund.
We are negative in that utility fund.
Yes, we are currently have a deficiency. Now with that also.
That's year to date.
Huh?
that's year to date.
On the paper from January first to
Alright.
September
Yeah.
30th.
We knew that going in,
Well, yeah,
because we just
yeah,
made
we
the
did.
adjustments.
But, two, the reports, it's broken down, so if y'all have any questions, and I'm not being tight, but I'm being tight, so if y'all could share that, so I don't have to make copies for you.
And this is the water, correct?
Yes.
Water.
So we're currently negative $99,742 in our water. So do people question why water bills have to go up?
Now, no, this is 2025, the reason the water bills went up was because of 2024.
This will help us.
This will
navigate.
help get us out of the negative,
Yes,
is what I'm saying.
yes.
Yeah.
And moving us towards the 1.15 that we have to
That we have
have
to
in reserve,
maintain
that we have to
for the
maintain.
Sustainability.
So this is gonna help move us to that end. But
I just wanna know how to.
if we have something major that happens,
We're
stuck.
stuck. Yeah, we're stuck because we
Yeah.
don't have any.
and the water revenue can only be used in the water department.
Yeah.
So this revenue that we're making, it's not like, oh, we can spend it somewhere else, we can only utilize it in this department.
Okay, at this time, I'd like a motion to transfer funds and pay bills.
Make a motion, go ahead, you go ahead, Erica.
I make a motion to transfer funds and pay bills after discussion on bills, which we've done already.
Do I have a second?
And we are up to date on all our bills.
Thank you.
Thank
Good.
you.
That's a positive thing.
That's positive.
Do I have a second?
Tony.
Yes,
Donna.
one second.
All in favor?
I like the new street lights, I must admit. I love them.
I like that too.
Me too.
I think we got most of them.
We have almost all of them, but not on the main street, but not all.
Well, what I do is in the morning, I come here at 6:50. So I drove,
We don't go out at night.
and I drove down because they want the addresses. So I'm trying to do first, second, third, and then I go to the other side. Yeah,
Next is a motion to,
it's gonna look like that.
and I was under the impression that we
Yeah,
We did bring this resolution up basically on intimidation and verbal abuse to our employees.
I know signs did go up, in City Hall at the time that this was originally discussed and drafted.
Yes. So basically tonight we need motion to adopt.
Well, I make the motion that we adopt the resolution to establish and effectuate policies to curtail verbal abuse and threats to municipal employees during the course of their employment duties by members of the public, including the use of messages, placement of signs, and the presence of law enforcement officers at municipal buildings and properties as may be justified under the existing circumstances.
Second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Thank y'all.
I second, I third.
Next, basically we had discussion regarding our park at our last meeting. We did get some updates recently, going back to 1976. We weren't sure of what our obligations would be, but after research, I think Kay has some information that
We have
you can
received
share.
We have received some information. We have some information in hand concerning all of that. We do have some hopes for the future for the park, and so that is a good thing. And so that is basically the update on it. We would like to make a motion. Having said that, we would like to make a motion to close it, and it says 120 days on there, but that should read for the fiscal year to December 31st, 2025.
Basically 90 days. what we
In
have.
order to study the grant opportunities and to curtail the expenses that we've got because we're under an austerity budget. So it doesn't mean that we're gonna close it forever, we're just going to close it, for the next 90 days until, we can take a look at budgetary commitments and see where we are and give us some more opportunity to explore grant opportunities.
And there's
I
still
mean,
some
we should
opportunities.
have our other stuff fixed so we can, right?
Yeah, and there's still some opportunities through the state, with Mark Abraham and our representative.
That
So-
depend upon sustainability, that depend upon a
And then
sustainability.
Mike's offered to draft us something in regard to a 501c3, am I correct, where,
A nonprofit corporation, whatever we decide to call it, the Elton Town Park Foundation. And we can talk about an organizational meeting and getting the public here. I get the documents drafted. I have suggested that we have an initial meeting, find out the interest, talk about the structure, and then a second meeting for those who are interested and willing to serve on the board and to do the things that will support that foundation, the park closing temporarily for the 90 days until we get to the next budget year. And with the winter and less park usage, that'll give this organization some startup time to get a lead and leading maybe into the spring, thinking about spring fundraisers and how we might help to start approaching not only citizens but local and other businesses that do business within the community. When I was the president of the Chamber of Commerce in Kendall, we were very successful in expanding our membership, particularly to businesses in the Lake Charles area that had a regular course of business with people in the town of Kendall, i.e., the Window Bar, All-Star Chevrolet at the time, Bolton Ford, and things like that. So if we can get some buy-in, get a good plan, that'll give us some time to see what we can do as far as on the private side, or to have this foundation that would help, and that might be approaching sports companies, it might be lots of different things, but I've suggested that we have that organizational meeting.
can we do a tentative date for that at this time?
Sure, we can do that, no problem. And the council does not need to be involved,
No.
they're welcome to attend.
Schedule a meet, the first meeting to discuss.
But,
One thing that y'all can do with this board is go to the Children's Museum. They have so many sponsors, and get with them and see who some of the sponsors are there, and then maybe kind of run off of their sponsorship. And not y'all's, because it's super nice.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we go all the time. So again.
So what date were you thinking?
I'm thinking November-ish, maybe late November.
yeah, unfortunately, I'll be out of pocket for basically the balance of the month of October, starting next
I'm
week.
thinking,
And I think next week is too quick, although,
yeah, I'm thinking November-ish.
but.
Our next scheduled meeting is going to be November the 12th.
Yeah, I'm gonna try
So
to request
if we
it.
could have it after November
That's
the
what I was
12th.
thinking,
you know.
Maybe the week after the 12th, which would be the 19th probably.
Well, I might suggest, since we're not gonna have a meeting on the 5th in the council chambers, that perhaps we could have that initial interest meeting on that date. Because we're not going to, the way that's gonna be set up, nobody in the government is going to be appointed to that board. Typically, we might have the mayor sit in as a, either advisor or a non-voting board member, but it's important for 501c3 status to have it independent of, and that the governing authority does not control that foundation. So it would be formed for the express and sole purpose of supporting that park or a town park that we've talked about, some other things that could happen. But we would want participation and cooperation, but not, and I'll, at least for a short period of time, I will be glad to serve as volunteer legal counsel and sort of help be an organizer of that. But I would suggest November 5th, November 4th, that's an election day, but I don't know that there's any, there's no local elections on that day. So I'll be in town, be glad to do it on the 4th or 5th. That'll give us 30 days to, to publicize this, get it out there to the community, and get some flyers put up, and start, working the phones. If you know you have constituents that are interested, and there were some people here that aren't here today.
And Mr. Mike, your work towards this would be pro bono?
Yes, the pro bono.
I just wanna make sure,
No charge.
yeah.
So, yeah, and
The
that
big
would,
thing is
4th
to,
or 5th would be convenient for me.
What are those dates?
November 4th, November 4th.
That's
Tuesday or
a Tuesday or Wednesday.
But there's always seems to be plenty of people available for the regular council meeting. So, if the 5th works, we would, and I can do it, since we're not having a council meeting and we don't have mayor's court, I can do it earlier in the afternoon. We don't have to do it after hours, so somebody has to stay around. We could do it at, what time do you close on Wednesdays?
3 o'clock.
So maybe we could do it, if people could, be available at least for an organizational meeting at 1, or not an organizational meeting, an interest meeting, and to be followed then very shortly thereafter.
I think that the problem that that's going to be that possible people that would be interested in that
Will be
will
at
not
work.
be off of work. They will be off of work
Yeah,
about
right.
5 o'clock or 5:30.
I'm fine with that, but we need a venue, so that would mean somebody being here on the
Well,
5th.
the mayor's gonna be here,
Okay,
the mayor's gonna be here as an onlooker then.
Yeah, that'd be
So
fine.
And Sandra, I'd like to request you be here as an onlooker too.
Why don't we say 6 o'clock on the 5th?
6 o'clock on the 5th?
6, fine.
Just
6
like a
Yeah.
regular
Do it
meeting.
at 6.
p.m. on the 5th.
Okay, I'll draft that, I'll work on the draft that,
Thank
keep
you,
that
Mr.
out,
Mark.
pass it to y'all.
Yes. And this basically would be an organizational type meeting, is that correct, where we seeing what interests we have and.
Y'all said at 6?
Yeah, get people here, find out who's interested, talk about, the structure and how the people that are here want to set that up. I'll have a draft of the document, but ultimately gonna have to decide on things like how many board members, chief standing committee, who's going to be responsible, for, finances and how they're gonna decide to spend money. Hopefully that they're able to, to raise, and we can talk about those things. And then,
It's a lot of work, cause you have to report
It is.
constantly, cause
there's some work involved.
501c3, they look,
There's some work involved, but once you're going,
you'll have to have. what
if you
I'm
don't exceed certain
Organized.
levels, then the reporting is a lot easier.
saying. You're right.
The other concern
But
that I
Those
have
are
is
issues we
the fact
can
that,
address, no problem.
we have people that always say they're interested.
That's
So
right.
when they come up and they say they're interested, they're gonna have their feet are gonna have to be held to the fire.
That's right. And
You
they
know,
have to
oh,
be
I'm gonna do
accountable
this,
for
I'm gonna do
every
that, I'm
penny.
gonna do this, and then, you know, the newness wears off and the shine and the real work begins, and then you have very few people that are showing up to do the real work.
Well, that'll be a challenge you face,
Yeah.
but that's why I suggest we have an interest meeting and then followed by the organizational meeting where we're, you know, where we're gonna actually start talking about initial board members and then how those people are appointed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Thank you, sir.
Well,
So, on number 11, I make a motion to close the park for the fiscal year until the fiscal year December 31st. Studying grant opportunities and curtailing expenditures under the current austerity budget.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Next, basically some grant updates to kind of give you a up to date on where we are. Yellow Pound, probably, we're about halfway through it. We're waiting on the second round of funding. We were initially given 25,000, am I correct, Ed?
25,000.
And that has
Was the
been
first draw?
extended, and the next 25, we had to apply and show the progress made with the first part of the expenditure.
that's on the dog pound?
Yeah.
Madam Clerk, all of those reports have been entered for the
They've been
first part of the
submitted.
offer. Everything has been submitted.
Yeah, and I haven't heard anything back yet, and she said she would, if there's something not right there, let me know, I can correct it and send it back.
Thank you,
So
sir.
we're up to date on that. The next one is actually the demolition grant, which we're scheduled to start work on it. The sign will be put up Thursday or Friday that we are going into the demolition project. The work will actually start, it's scheduled to start on the 6th. I had an update, it'll probably be the day after before he actually starts.
October the 7th?
Yeah, 6th and 7th. 6th is actually startup day. He has X amount of days to complete that project, which I don't think it's gonna take him the whole time. He
How
just,
many houses are we doing? You remember?
14, we have 14 demos, and, he has 90 days to get it done, which it shouldn't take.
it's actually a two-part deal. One of it's removing asbestos from 4 or 5 of the home,
Yeah.
and the rest is just actually demolishing and hauling. And at the end, he'll come back and do the groundwork to smooth it out and make sure that the drainage is proper, so.
The final sign off on that, each one of those properties has a checklist that has to be signed off. Is the cement done? Is the ground level done? Da, 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 da. And then the mayor has to go and individually inspect each one of those properties before he signs off. So as the properties are done, he can inspect them and then not sign off until all 14 properties are complete.
That's good.
And so that way, everything's done decently and in order. And then those, there again, Madam Clerk will be sending in reports as that work is done and as those invoices are sent out to us.
And actually, we'll be able to apply for a $500,000 grant next year in 2027.
2027, we
27.
we are not allowed to apply until 2027.
So the next one will be a double what this one was, so we'll be able to accomplish quite a more demolitions as needed. Any questions regarding grants?
No.
Next is police business, and basically I think Sandra is gonna address that where we are to budget and, basically how we're hoping to finish the year.
Well, if so, going back to the budget comparison, if you look under expenditures by departments, you'll see police.
Second page, top.
Yeah, the first page, a little bit at the bottom, our auto expense. Yeah, $1.91. So anyways, in some of these areas, we won't be, he won't be spending any more money, but in some he will. Auto expense, he will be spending more. Payroll taxes, of course, for him and his salary.
Meetings, workshops, and training. We have no more money for that for the year. And there is a workshop coming up that he did request being at, but a municipality is not required to fund an elected chief's travel to the conventions if there's no money in the department budget for it. And so we do not have the budget for that next convention, so that will be a no-go.
Sandra,
There will be those savings, on some of the police vehicles, that we can take the license plates off and reduce some of the insurance costs.
So has that been done?
Well, the plates have been removed, but now we need to, just notify, I guess, risk management, which ones we're doing, and
You wanna say?
go ahead.
No, I don't wanna say.
The plates have been removed and she's been working on that, but we just received a letter the day after the plates were removed that every sedan we have is under recall.
Hmm.
Every one of those
Sure.
police vehicles.
So we're gonna have to
are
have
under
them
recall. So
brought to the dealership.
we're gonna have to figure that part of it out because some of them are running, some of them are not running, but they're all of them under recall.
Yeah, there's only one that's not running right now.
Okay, well, there's one that's not.
Recall for what?
Just
I
some
don't even
manufacturer's
remember.
recall.
Yeah,
It's the manufacturer's recall that says that the whole front end of the machine
Yeah,
is called.
something
How old are these vehicles?
2018.
It doesn't matter if they're under recall.
Yeah,
they
then
could be-
It could be
Recall
20 years
first,
old.
yeah.
It's an extended.
Oh.
They're probably 18 years old, some of these vehicles. But
Yeah,
they're still
They're all
subject to recall.
2018s.
They're all 2018s, and the good thing is, the ones that we can't sell after the recall, we do have other police departments that are looking to
Yeah.
purchase from us, which we don't have to go through a whole big drawn out affair, it's just from one police department to another police department. It's a whole lot easier.
So the silver lining in that is when you recall, you take it to the dealership fix whatever is wrong with it, right?
For free.
On that
For
recall.
free, with
Yeah,
that
that's right,
recall.
yeah.
So that might bring the value up a little bit.
Keep it from, when they run the
I mean, y'all
information
looking
from
good.
showing that it
They probably don't
has
have
active
parts for it
recall.
anymore.
That's about it.
Probably quit making the parts for
I'm
you're
sorry,
18
I'm
years
sorry.
old.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to fix the car that's not working.
How many vehicles are y'all planning on selling after the recall?
Well,
We don't know.
I'll tell you what Bruce has asked, he has a new car that he's driving, that one that was,
A Charger or something, isn't it?
The one that shows new police
a new
vehicle.
police vehicle, and he would like to keep one as a spare at this point. We do not have a second police officer, he's
Right.
on staff now. And again, he has asked me and the council to allow him to keep a spare vehicle, and actually, he utilizes one of them to run radar. He started running radar, and his car is not equipped with all the stuff that we need to run radar.
Has the chief released those vehicles so that we can declare them surplus to sell?
No, sir, he is not released.
That's a point that we need to emphasize to not only the public, but to the chief,
Correct.
that he has to release those cars from service to the police department before and release them back to the town in general, so that then the town.
Showing as that excess or
Right.
non-used.
That's been addressed to him,
Yeah.
but it's not been accomplished at this point.
Correct.
Right,
So, I mean, I do a form for him to sign off on. I know I tried to describe the car by then, year, make, model, and have him sign off on those.
Okay.
And I know I was going to, I don't know if I've gotten, but as soon as I get the VIN, make, model, year, then I can do the form for him to sign at the bottom, but he has to be convinced to do it, because this will generate some revenue, and, we're already $6,300 over on, well, that's insurance, I don't know if that's auto insurance, but it
No,
includes
that's
all insurance.
workers, yes, that's workers' comp liability and all.
So, yeah, the auto insurance is down here, we're slightly under budget, but not much, but anyway, that's important to get that saved. I had a question, Sandra, just so it's clear, the supplemental pay line on page 2, under the police department, we budgeted 28,800, we've expended 18,180, but that's just a pure pass-through, right?
Yes, sir.
So right now, it's showing a budget excess of 10,620, but we
can't
don't,
touch that.
but we don't expect to get that money.
It's a wash.
Right, I mean, so when you look at total public safety police at 53, before the gray line, 53,849.45, that positive number of 10,620 is actually
in that number.
bolstering that money and keeping it from being another $10,000
So it should be
negative.
15,000.
Yeah, it should be 15.
It should be
I just wanted to
negative
clarify
50.
that.
Yeah, well, but with that, we have something going on with that, that's why I didn't adjust that number, because
Yeah.
I need to make sure. I'd rather make sure instead of take it and then have to
No,
put it
I
back.
agree, I just,
Yeah.
So-
5,300 doesn't sound so bad, but 15
Yeah.
with 3 months to go is a little bit different, particularly in the size budget, at least budget we're looking at. Okay.
So that leads me to my question, what's the plan? What do we do? Because, I mean, it's technically negative 15.
What happens,
we
well,
still
comes
get-
out of our general fund, we have to amend the
Have to
budget.
adjust the budget.
Well, right now, I've adjusted pretty much everything I can adjust.
Uh-huh,
So what we're gonna do is be really tight on our budget
uh-huh.
to cover up that. But then, like I said too, we're also looking at supplement pay, to maybe that would work. We're just not sure yet. I don't have all the numbers.
Okay.
So yeah, when somebody goes over budget, then the other areas have
So,
to.
yeah, so once we amend the budget, what area do you plan on taking the money from? Like, where else do we have the extra funds to do that?
Well,
We don't really, that's the whole thing, we don't really.
I just need that to be, where's the money gonna come from?
well, it's gonna have to come from our budget.
From the general,
From the
do
general
you
fund.
have it? Do you have it to give?
Well, yeah, because what we could do right now is take everything away from some of these other ones.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is like telephone, utilities, I'm hoping that we can adjust things to where we're gonna have that extra to cover.
Okay. Thank you.
So that's why Mr. Mike comes in and his air conditioning's on.
Oh, man, that was sweet.
And then he comes in and turns it on, so. But yeah, we'll just have to squeeze things from one to cover the other.
Okay. Thank you for the explanation.
The other part of that is, you all have it in your packet, there were 11 tickets written last month. The total fines were $2,596.25, the total paid was $637.25.
So that was all that was paid in one month?
That's it,
That's all?
that's all that was written, that's all that was paid.
So the revenue piece can help with the deficit.
If there's a revenue piece.
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
to buy tickets to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Sarah, you got a question?
If we're getting rid of all these police cars, are we working on the assumption that next year we won't have a police force either?
That's what I was
Like
saying.
even if
Well,
we're gonna have budget
I'm gonna give you my
reissue?
forecast and the vision I've seen. We've gotten a lot of help, hopefully y'all seen from the parish.
Sure.
So basically, right now, it's Bruce in the daytime and the sheriff's department's been at night. I don't feel that we need 4 or 5 police officers in the town of Elton. I can envision,
Especially when they're not writing that many tickets, but.
we had 4 and 5 at one time, and the revenue was not produced.
The chief,
I've got the vision of a chief and 1 officer.
That's kind of what I
That's
had.
The
what
chief can run during the day, and an officer can handle at night, and the chief's still available on call.
Would you have to have dispatch too for all that, or would y'all be able to?
JDS
figure
will
all that?
continue to dispatch.
That's kind of my vision.
Before these cars sit up too long, and because you have some short-term
Yeah.
budget need, it's better, in my opinion, this is not legal advice, you raise that revenue
Yeah.
by selling those cars, all right? And then if in 6 or 8 months, there is some demonstration that there's the budget for it and the need, it's easy to acquire another vehicle. We can go and beg and
Get
borrow
But,
from other agencies who have older cars.
yeah.
Because we, honestly, it's not like we have 20 miles of roads to patrol. If you're gonna be running traffic, you know, if you can get the sheriff's department to, you know, to donate you a 2015 with 250,000 miles on it, but you got it equipped with the radar, then that should be sufficient to run local traffic and to do local patrol. And it's gonna take time to, you know, to get to a point, if the police department does ever come back, if that's the decision of the legislative body here, then there's ways to go and get them, especially if you say, we got nothing. Well, then you're a lot better candidate if you got all these cars sitting around and you know, no one's gonna say, oh, we'll just give you some more.
The longer they sit up, the worse they're gonna get. The fuel tanks are gonna start gumming up, the rats are gonna start eating electrical wires. Say come January,
Well, vandalism.
yeah, and then say come January, Bruce is able to throw, he miraculously we find money, and Bruce is able to put 3 officers. Well, they've done set up all winter. Everybody knows what happens during the winter time with rats. They go to start getting these units, and next thing you know, we're in a budget crisis again because these units are all at the mechanic shop getting fixed constantly. It's better just go ahead and let them go now.
And one thing that needs to be stated too is that the sheriff's department has been doing a phenomenal job
They have.
of covering us. I mean, kudos to the sheriff and all his deputies. They're not just sitting in one spot, they're actually out in the community writing tickets, they're actually being observant and seeing things that are going on in the community.
They're riding tickets with people on bicycles too, the rest of them.
They're
Okay.
picking up,
But we didn't have
they're
to
golf carts,
But now
people
we
are
have
doing
to.
illegal.
Well,
They're really working.
Well, that's-
Community struggle.
the sheriff department's doing their part, and that's the thing is, like, me and the sheriff department, we stay in constant talk all the time. And like, we were all talking about, like, everybody's like, well, they pulled everybody over the bicycles. It is a state law that the bicycles have to have lights, just like these golf courts. Golf courts technically are supposed to be, you know.
Street legal.
Street legal. And like I brought it up before when I did work for the town of Elton. Council needs to get together and talk about it, inspecting these golf courts.
We were supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Well, there's actually RS, it's sitting on the mayor's
Yes,
desk
yeah,
right
yeah.
now, there are actually RS statutes for that already in place of what they have to be. There has to be, to cross that main highway, state
Yeah,
highway, there has to
one
be a
designated
dedicated
crossing.
sign for it. You know, they have to be street legal.
But
They're
like-
not, we see people with 4 and 5 kids on the back of them hanging just on the sidebar, you
Yeah.
know, speeding through town, but
Well, they have to be both of them.
I believe when the sheriff's department is going to see that they're going to stop that,
Oh,
and
yeah.
slowly they are making a difference, and they have done a phenomenal job.
They have.
Because you have to be voted up, you
I'm
gotta
very
have.
glad you brought that up, because remember last month that we had a conversation about seeing how much money the sheriff's department actually made
Mhm.
just off the town of Elton. Were you able to
We-
get
I
that
haven't
report?
I did call the sheriff personally,
Mhm.
But I don't think we got a number.
and we listened, we,
He can't get us
first
that.
of all,
He can't. I
there's
talked
no
to
call that goes through if I'm in the office that is not on speakerphone. Let me put that out there so that somebody doesn't think I'm doing something I'm not supposed to do.
Okay.
Okay, and the sheriff said, I cannot address that with you, I cannot tell you what we made, I cannot tell you how many tickets we wrote, I cannot tell you who we wrote tickets to.
But go look at-
However,
We had a deputy.
You wait, Kim.
however, if you take a look and ride around town, you'll see 2 and 3 vehicles and who they're pulling over and where they're doing it and where
Yep.
they're doing drug busts at and what's going on, and so, you know,
Actually,
they're
our
making
deputy this
30,
morning
40
had
stops.
a file charge on a water theft. So they've been involved with a number of, things that are going on in the community that we're
I
trying.
did, I just wanted to see how much money it was.
Right.
We were actually missing
We
out on.
were actually
Yes,
missing out.
we were, I know.
And we have never called them, the town has never called them, that they have not responded. Coming into City Hall to discuss water theft or somebody that's doing something they're not supposed to, they're not backing down,
Yeah.
lots of water.
Oh,
theft.
no.
They are not backing down from giving out citations if they need to give citations.
Yeah, we've had
And
water
if we
theft.
have a question, they are
That's
answering.
somebody stealing somebody else's water.
With a hose or something?
There's all kind
Oh,
of.
you
Or
did
you
some
go
price,
into
I
the
did.
main line.
And all kind of ways you do that.
Or them
Just like some people
I had
just
somebody-
dig a line and make a hole
Yeah,
there,
make it
and then
themselves.
just tap into the town's water system.
And they build a fire, and they're not supposed to have water in the street.
Well, we had somebody use somebody's faucet outside and
Have
they
you
put
seen
a
the
lock on
fire
the faucet to
and
keep
the
somebody
hose?
from using stealing
That's
their water.
because some people have morals and scruples and are
Well, I
law-abiding
didn't think that.
citizens.
Couldn't even think to do
Yeah,
that.
because you're a law-abiding citizen.
Moving on.
Hey, back in the police cars with the recalls, is it worth keeping the insurance on them and we're like getting to the shop and they sit there a month, 2 months?
They won't sit there.
Well, yeah, we'll have to find out for sure, hey, do y'all have the ports, how fast
How
will y'all be
fast,
able to
yeah.
get to them? And then once that's established, then we have to compare, hey, is it feasible or not feasible?
And if you're transferring to another police department, you can transfer a vehicle with
The recall.
recall
Stay with
notice.
the vehicle.
And you know, say, here's a recall notice, as soon as you get it, the first thing you should do, take it down to the dealership, get that addressed, and whatever else you might wanna do.
Get rid of the insurance, pay the insurance,
That's a
and all
good-
that.
We trying to do that at every department.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Any other questions? This time I'd like to call for a motion to, temporarily adjourn to go into executive session.
Well, I do have a question
Oh,
though.
go ahead.
Mine's about the grass mowing, we know that, my neighbor, and other neighbors. When are we gonna, we've been talking about it for the,
Again,
and you keep saying, oh, I gotta make a letter, well, I
not a letter, I don't want a letter. We have something that I've gotten from Jennings and Kinder.
But you
It's
said
a
that
tag. We
two-
haven't produced a
2
tag
meetings
yet.
ago. I'm just saying, we need to get the people mowing their
Okay,
grass,
I'm
there's
gonna give
people
you the
complaining.
tags tomorrow and you go take care of making them.
Hey, I told you what I put on them.
First of all,
But you got council members that grass is high too.
Really?
yeah, mine, in my garden, mine was as tall as me in my garden. It's not that way anymore, but mine was as tall as me. And if
Oh, I'm not
anybody-
just talking
and if-
about that.
yeah,
This is okay.
Oh, well,
Not
I
grass
don't
is
know.
tall.
But the other thing too, Miss Meredith, is,
I understand you single, you like me, let it grow.
and I'm up here every day.
Okay. Thank you.
No, she brought up the grass,
Okay,
and you brought up talking to people about putting grass on their yard. And I'm going to state that until the town gets all of their grass cut, across the street from me, in the water where the water tower is, it's taller than me. And I feel bad about sending somebody a bill that says, I want you to cut your yard no matter what, when as the town council, we can't even take our own.
That's exactly right.
okay. Point well taken.
Motion to, I make a motion that we go into executive session,
you all for
dismiss the
coming.
public.
Mary, my grass is not tall.
I need a second.
Erica, I'm not talking about you.
My
I'm not talking
neighbor's
about
tall, my
Daisy.
neighbor's is tall.
Yeah.
Is there a vote, or there will be executive?
All in favor?
Say aye, Kim.
And I wasn't talking about this today, I'm talking about our main water monthly meeting.
Good to see you.
I say we're gonna put a goat back there.
Why bring this mess up whenever our own town properties is this?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, when you're the person living next door to it like she is,
I don't blame
Yeah.
you.
there's a reason. Because there's rats,
snakes.
snakes, everything on the sun, you know, so I understand.
The one that, mine is over